Oh boy,
that was dreadful.
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know how to say his name. I have gone through the years of having to learn how to say Antetokounmpo, how to spell Antetokounmpo. We've had some crazy names to memorize, but that's because some of those crazy names, they went on to be big parts of the NBA going forward. But number 54, I cannot say his name. To any Spurs fan that comes and finds this video and they call me disrespectful, forgive me, because this is what his stats look like until he decided to play against my New York Knicks and go off and do this.
He let it fly again. 7 threes, and he hasn't missed from downtown.
So respect to him. This is no disrespect to how good of a game he had. I refuse to learn his name. Okay, let's try. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Offense as Sandro Mamukelashvili comes up with Sandro Mamukelashvili.
Sandro Mamukelashvili?
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Sandro Mamukelashvili. Mamukelashvili?
Perfect.
Mamukelashvili? Sandro Mamukelashvili.
Self-5.
However you say his name. 7 for 7 from 3, bro. 13 for 14 from the field. Career night. What more do you want me to say? They came out of the gates like they didn't want to play. They didn't want to play this game. They did not care. Back-to-back games, we dropped sub 20 points. We had 20 this one. We had 18 last game. The only difference was Karl Towns erupted for a crazy second quarter. This time around, Mitchell Robinson was the second highest scorer to the first half. We're not gonna talk about it. We're gonna move on. Maybe. But outside of that, we also got to talk about, the Jalen Brunson injury update and where he is at. Should we even be playing Jalen Brunson at any point for the remainder of the season with the playoffs right around the corner, or should the Knicks just tough it out the next few weeks and get ready for playoffs? A lot of things to talk about here in today's video, and I'm not going to talk any more about Sandro Mamukelashvili. Sounds good every time now. Man, run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? It's your boy CK2K. Welcome back to another video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell and don't forget to like this video, guys. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm gonna say it for the next 2 weeks until you guys get the program that every Tuesday and Thursday, new videos. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us. But the New York Knicks unfortunately lose last night against the San Antonio Spurs, the first of a back-to-back. We have the Charlotte Hornets tonight, this Thursday of this video coming out, the second game of a back-to-back. And where the NBA gods gifted us some supposedly easy games with Jalen Brunson being out, leave it to the New York Knicks to find a way to A, make it more difficult for themselves, and B, lose the game. Leave it to the New York Knicks, man, because golly, how much harder did you want to make that game for yourself, Knicks? How much harder did you want to make the game for yourself? Shout out to Karl Towns, the only person that wanted to show up in that first quarter. Not a soul. My man Bridges throwing up grenades, didn't do anything. OG Anunoby, for the love of God, he tried. Boy, did OG try, but it wasn't going down. Yo, Josh Hart threw a three-point so hard it almost hit the side of the back. But bro, it was just a bad outing for the New York Knicks in the first half. Yes, thank God for the second half for the Knicks. Everybody looked a lot better. Mikal Bridges had a great third quarter. As I mentioned, they brought the lead down to as much as 8, so there was hope, there was belief. I was trying to sell it in the play-by-play, but man, every time we caught any kind of fire, any kind of momentum, the Spurs had a response and an answer for it every single time. This just was not our game. It was never going to be our game, and it never could be our game if you're going to come out the gates the way we did in this one. Final score 120-105. Not much else to talk about it. Chris Paul looked good. I don't know what else to say about it. Talking about this game, I don't care about individual performance. I mean, outside of Mitchell Robinson looked good. Back-to-back double-digit games, 13 points, 11 rebounds. He finally got his double-double. He was a rebound short of his double-double on Monday. So it's nice to see that. But other than that, it was a whole lot of nothing. We wasted the Towns 32-9 game. Tough game. I don't know what else to say. But speaking of Karl Towns, there were a few quote-unquote scary moments. We saw him hobbling with the knee soreness. We also saw him dealing with the finger, the same injured finger that he's been dealing with all season long. He had to get out for an extended period of time, get it retaped, and he eventually came back in, but he just never looked the same after the first quarter, first half, if you will. He didn't look the same. I'm recording this the night of the loss of the San Antonio Spurs, so I'm sure as you're viewing this throughout the day before the Hornets game, you are going to get a better report. But if I were to give my assessment on what's going to happen, I would not be surprised if the New York Knicks decided to sit Karl Towns in the second game of a back-to-back against a hobbled Charlotte Hornets squad. My question also is, does Mitchell Robinson play this second game of a back-to-back? He has yet to play the second of a back-to-back as well. So there's a huge possibility that the Knicks could either overachieve and Karl Towns try and play through it for 2 nights in a row, or they smartly sit him down for the game and hope for the rest. But then we also could be without Mitchell Robinson. We go from having 2 bigs to having no bigs, and having to start pressure Chua and get funky with the lineups going forward. These are all just assumptions, and all we can do is base it off of the things that we heard in the post game. What's your thoughts, man? I'm unleashed. Let it all be known how you're feeling after last night's raggedy game against the San Antonio Spurs. I can only imagine there's rage all the way through Knicks fans, which is completely healthy and completely okay, but it's also needed to be known that we move. It was a tough game. We move on. We'll live to fight another day, and we're just gonna have to make up for it against Charlotte and get that W. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Speaking of playoffs, we also had to talk about Jalen Brunson. There's a conversation going on in the Knicks fandom right now about what we should do as far as Jalen Brunson. I just talked about how we have a nice net between us and number 4 in the 3rd seed. And again, when I say nice, I'm being very, very gracious, because anything can happen and we could lose that spot. But the question is, and the conversation that's going on right now amongst Knicks fans are, what do we do with Jalen Brunson? I mean, we're hearing mainstream media even talk about it. Kendrick Perkins mentioned it a few episodes ago. Again, I don't watch it like that, but you know, when I hear clips about my team, and it's Kendrick Perkins, I tend to tune in, so I'll watch the clip and feel like a lot of Knicks fans are starting to feel the same way. And I want to talk about where I am with that. And to be honest, it might be the best move. It might be smarter for the New York Knicks. I wouldn't say sit him until the playoffs. I don't think that's ever a smart thing for him to try to get the rust off in the playoffs. I think probably start of April, because we only play like a week or 2 of April. Start of April, that final week before the playoffs, Brunson should then start to rev up and get into game flow, so he can get himself back on track when it comes to NBA basketball before the playoffs start. I think right now the Knicks are who the Knicks are. It's no only November. There's no the beginning of the season. We're in March. We are in the thick of it. Hell, we're at the end of it. The playoffs are mid-April. That's when the playoffs begin. We jump into the first round. We're either going to be playing against possibly the Pacers, possibly the Detroit Pistons as of right now. This is the team, and I feel like the best case scenario is to just let Jalen Brunson stay off the ankle as long as possible, get him into some games before the playoffs start so he's not completely rusty as the playoffs begin. I think that's the best case scenario. But the thing is too, how healthy is the ankle even going to be? I'm talking about it like it's a luxury that we can sit out Jalen Brunson for that time. We don't even know how healthy the ankle is entirely going to be. When we talked about him being out 2 to 4 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks, that 3 is being generous. The ankle injury we saw for Jalen Brunson was pretty cruel. If the man's ankle touched earth, we don't even know when Jalen Brunson's actually going to be ready. So we just got to be hope that we can have that option for Jalen Brunson to be ready to play around playoff time. But I guess only time will tell. But in a perfect world, if we get the report that Jalen Brunson in a week or 2 weeks now, yeah, in 2 weeks ish, we get the report that Jalen Brunson's ankle is healed and he's ready to make some strides towards the court. I think our best case scenario is sitting him until the last few games, some tune-up games before the playoffs, and then just trying to go with the healthiest version of Jalen Brunson that we can have going to the playoffs. But then that leads to the conversation of then having to get ourselves reacclimated to playing with Brunson and getting ready for playoff series. It's a whole conversation that I honestly, I'm bringing this up because I want to hear what you guys think in the chat. I want to know where the CK crew stands on that conversation. Do you guys believe Jalen Brunson should come back as soon as he is healthy and get ready for the playoffs? Do you believe it just doesn't make sense to rush him back and we should just have him go when we get to the playoffs? What are your thoughts about the Jalen Brunson situation? What are your thoughts about where the Knicks are right now? Hell, what are your thoughts about the Knicks in a first round series? Whether it's Detroit, whether it's Indiana, what are your thoughts right now? I mean, we got a little bit of time before we need to have those conversations, but it was a really interesting little bit of scrolling I was doing, seeing that everybody's concerned and thinking about what's next with Jalen Brunson. And it's a serious conversation to have, but we also gotta not act like we have that luxury of just activating him whenever we can. That's not how it works. We got to make sure he's healthy first. But what are your thoughts about everything mentioned in this video? How'd you feel about that raggedy game against San Antonio? What's your thoughts about what we should be doing with Jalen Brunson if he is back in time before the playoffs? Should we play him? Should we not play him? Let me know your thoughts about everything mentioned in the comment section below. But yeah, man, we're uploading every Tuesday and Thursday, and I appreciate you guys for rocking with us for this entire month. We've been consistent. We've been doing our thing. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like the video. We are on the road for 30,000 subscribers. Appreciate you guys for getting us finally to 25K. I feel like we've been teetering between 24.5 and 25 for the longest time. So I appreciate you guys for getting us there. Let's keep it going for 30K. All right, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get it. Man, interesting conversations. I'm just saying. It's gonna be an interesting run in the playoffs, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.